Welcome to the Mindfulness Meditation Podcast presented by the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art, a global museum dedicated to bringing greater awareness and understanding of Himalayan art to people around the world. I'm your host, teacher.The. Every Thursday, we offer a meditation session at New York Inside Meditation Center that draws inspiration from an artwork from the Rubin's collection and is led by a prominent meditation teacher. This podcast is a recording of our weekly in-person practice. The description of each episode includes information about the theme for that week's session and an image of the related artwork. Our Mindfulness Meditation Podcast is presented in partnership with Sharon Salzberg and teachers from the New York Inside Meditation Center, the Interdependence Project, and Parabola Magazine, and supported by the Frederick P. Lenz Foundation for American Buddhism. And now, please enjoy your practice. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And teacher.The, welcome. Welcome to the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art's Mindfulness Meditation Program here at this beautiful place called New York Inside Meditation Center. I'm teacher.The, Himalayan Programs and Communities Ambassador, and I'm delighted to be your host. So the Rubin Museum is a global hub for Himalayan art, and we're so glad to have all of you join us for this weekly program where we combine art and meditation. Inspired by our collection, we will first take a deep look at the work of art we have chosen today. In fact, amongst a list of the art our teacher has handpicked, then we will hear a brief talk from our teacher, Lama Aria Drolma, about 15 to 20 minutes, meditation guided by her. Let's take a look at today's theme and artwork. The artwork for today's session is this beautiful tanka, which is a scroll painting, mineral pigment on cloth. You can see the silk framing, and the central figure is Buddha Amitabha in his pure realm. Now, Amitabha is known as Padme in Tibetan word, which is a boundless light or immeasurable light. And this is origin from central Tibet, dated 18th century, mineral pigment on cloth, scroll painting. And this is a beautiful gift from Shelley and Donald Rubin. Now, the connection to the theme this month, we are still exploring joy. As we have mentioned in the past, the month of July is the birth of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama. And the Amitabha Buddha, known as the Buddha of immeasurable light, resides in the realm of great bliss called Sukhawati in Sanskrit, and in Tibetan it's called Deva Chen, a desired realm for higher existence. His realm of great bliss serves as a reminder that joy in Buddhist thought is not just the fleeting happiness, but a deep, lasting serenity that arises from the enlightenment and compassion. Now, the Amitabha Buddha teaching is practiced in so many countries. Now, in Tibetan, the Amitabha Buddha is considered one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, and associated with practitioners in protecting for long life, as well as sending the consciousness to the right path. Depicted here, the close-up look of the central figure, he's in red in color. In order to identify which Buddha it is even by looking at the color. For instance, medicine Buddha often comes blue in color. Although in the sculpture, you're always going to find golden bronze-like color, but in the painting, you can see the color really bright, right? The red Buddha is often the Amitabha Buddha. In the robes of the monk, he sits in a lotus position, holding a vase nectar with both hands in meditation gesture and sitting on the lotus throne. Now, on his sides are the 8 great bodhisattvas, illustrating the wishes of practitioners and devotees. Now, the mantra for Amitabha Buddha is Om Ami Deva Hri. Okay, let's bring on our teacher for today. Our teacher is Lama Aria Drolma. Lama Arya Drolma is an ordained Buddhist teacher in the Karmakaju tradition of Tibetan Buddhism who has completed over a decade of monastic study and meditation training. She emphasizes Vajrayana Buddhism and Buddhist principles, making them relevant in our everyday lives, helping us to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and bringing about a transformation of contentment and a genuine sense of well-being. Lama Arya Drolma, thank you so much for being here. Please help me in welcoming Lama Arya Drolma.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this session of mindfulness meditation. Thank you all for coming in today, for taking this time. I know it's pretty warm outside, so I genuinely thank you all for being here with us. So as Tashi said, thank you, Tashi, for the introduction and for all this wonderful team at the Rubin, for Jacqueline, for Jason, and all the lovely people here setting up everything, making this so comfortable. Thank you. So the theme this month is joy, and the artwork is Buddha Amitabha. And thank you, Tashi, for explaining so much of Amitabha Buddha. And, talking about joy, I read on the headlines, the formula for happiness. And I was like, oh my God, this is very appropriate. I have to talk about it today to all of you all. What is the formula? And it is apparently from Dr. Epel, E-P-E-L. And she did a survey on 18,000 people. And what she said was, small acts of joy bring more happiness than, all the therapy for a year or more. The small acts of joy bring more joy than, like months of work on yourself and so on. That I always felt this to be very true. When you see this beautifully bloomed flower, your heart literally feels so happy. I'm sure all of you have felt that, or having a small piece of your favorite chocolate. It doesn't have to be big things. So basically, Dr. Epel kind of says, appreciate what is here and now rather than appreciating what is there. We always think that, that big mansion or this fabulous new car is going to bring us joy and happiness. But in fact, it's the little acts of kindness, small acts of joy that brings us more happiness. Like today, it was beautiful. Tashi had gone to India, to Ladakh, and she brought me a small bottle of jam, like an apricot one. Apricot is my favorite. So, I'm looking at that and I'm like feeling very joyous. And, when I met Jacqueline, she's like, oh, I have a lot of lovely things to tell you. I went on a pilgrimage. So, and then Lena here bringing her friend all the way from Philadelphia. I swear I'm filled with so many happiness. She brought her friend here to listen to the mindfulness meditation. That itself is joyous. But today, when we contemplate on the theme of joy, it is about Amitabha. And here we're talking about a deep, luminous joy that is not dependent on anything external circumstances. Like this is the joy that arises from the connection with your true nature, a joy that Buddha Amitabha represents in his pure land. So this joy that Buddha Amitabha emanate, what it represents is that we all have this joy within us. And the representation of Amitabha is to just say that joy that Amitabha emanates, we all have it within us, and we just have to discover it. And this wonderful chanting that you heard, the chant is about the pure land, which is also called Deva Chen, which is also called Sukhavati in Sanskrit. So the aspiration when we do that chant is to say, when we pass away, may we be born in this land of Devachen, in this land of Sukhavati, the land of bliss. And that is an aspiration made for people who have passed away. In fact, in our monastery, after the 49th day of someone who has passed away, they come and request us to do this chanting of Amitabha, which is from morning till evening, with a lot of offerings made. And, the family cooks for the monastics. And it's a beautiful, beautiful chanting. And this chanting that was there is a short version, which literally means, when I pass away, let me be born in this place called Devachen, this place called Sukhavati, this land of bliss. And why? So apparently, this land of Sukhavati, this land of bliss, is a realm which is unfathomable space of peace. It just emanates peace there, beauty and joy. And it is free of any sorrow. It is even free of a bad word. You will not even hear a bad word. And apparently this land of bliss is so beautiful. If you say, oh, I need some shade, and apparently a tree will just appear there and give you shade. And then if you are like thirsty, there's a beautiful spring that'll open up. And it is so, the explanation of this realm is so beautiful. Imagine, not even a bad word is spoken there. That is the land of Amitabha that we all aspire as Buddhist monastics to go there. All the Buddhist tradition people there aspire to be. So by you today, even having a glimpse of Amitabha, you have already made a connection. It's called, like in Tibetan, it's called tendril. It's like a connection with your visual eyes. And that will stay in your heart. So when if you are doing your practices, who knows, you will also probably be born in the land of Devachen, the land of bliss. So the visual representation of unconditional love, perfect wisdom, and spiritual liberation, that's what the Amitabha represents. So now we will start the meditation. How does this beautiful Amitabha connect us to the meditation? And this is through visualization, chanting. We awaken our own potential to live with more compassion, light, and joy. So, for example, in meditation, there is a moment when your mind settles and the heart opens up. Here we experience a profound inner stillness. All of us experiences that, when we are meditating. It's just that we sometimes don't recognize it. It's a momentary glimpse of peace. And it is so peaceful that you don't want to come out of it. But then what does your mind do? It tricks you. It starts, a lot of thoughts come because you're not familiar with that place of stillness and peace. So it's just to let you know that when you do meditate, you fall into that space of stillness where it's beautiful and peaceful. And that is the moment, we are remembering our inherent capacity for joy, a joy that arises from wisdom, compassion, and connection. So what I mean by this is when you meditate, you will fall into that stillness. A short space of absolute stillness where you feel very blissful. You want to be in there. But then thoughts come and then that moment goes. You will recognize that. And that's what my hope is, that you'll recognize that stillness, that recognize that peace. So let's all now start the meditation. We'll sit upright and I'll ring the gong. Sit comfortably with your back straight. You can close your eyes gently or keep your eyes opened. You can keep your hands on your lap on your thighs like this. Right palm over your left and place it on your lap. More importantly, keep your back straight. Now we will start with taking 3 deep breaths. And the example of the breath is like this. The first breath, inhale deeply and exhale with a big sigh. Let go of all your stress that you're carrying today. And then we'll sit for a few moments breathing normally. And then the second breath again, inhale deeply and exhale with a big sigh. And bring your shoulders down. Let go of all the stress you're carrying. And the third breath, again, breathe in deeply. And let out your breath with a big sigh. Letting go of all your stress you're carrying. And now continue to breathe normally. And here we will do some visualization. Imagine a beautiful place, peaceful, and the whole place is filled with golden light. And there's a beautiful cold breeze. And you see lotus flowers, gentle streams, beautiful sky. And the whole place is calm, filled with peaceful sounds, birds singing. And you hear the echoing of mantras. And just sit in this peaceful moment and breathe normally. Inhale and exhale. And we will sit for a few moments just surrounded by this beautiful golden light, soft golden light. If your mind wanders off to a thought, just say, thinking, drop that thought, come back to this peaceful place. Feel that peaceful, open, and joyful place that you enjoy being here. And with each inhaling, breathe in that wonderful light. And then breathe out peace, exhaling all your tension and worry. And rest in that joyful state. Now you can visualize Amitabha Buddha in front of you, and his whole body, he emanates this soft golden light. And that light reaches you with blessings of peace and joy, and will sit and just visualize that light over you. Breathe in normally, inhale and exhale. And we'll sit for a few moments, breathing naturally. Inhale and exhale. Visualize Amitabha Buddha in front of you. And he is emanating this beautiful golden soft light which reaches you, and you're completely filled with joy and peace. And from your heart, let that beautiful golden light fill the entire space in front of you, the whole universe, and you can send out this essence of joy and peace to the whole universe, and sit and rest in that present moment. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Feel your body in this present moment, seated here. And just know that this joy and peace is in your heart, and you can reach it any time. And I'll ring the bell now. Gently open your eyes and come back to the present moment.
Thank you so much for that beautiful session. As Lama Aria mentioned, the joy, the bliss, we don't have to look outside. It is within each of us. We just have to recognize Often the teaching says it's obscured by our afflictive emotions. So we have to tame those afflictive emotions to give rise to the basic goodness, the loving kindness, compassion that is within each of us. That concludes this week's practice. To support the Rubin and this meditation series, we invite you to become a friend of the Rubin at rubinmuseum.org/friends. If you are looking for more inspiring content, please check out our other podcast, Awaken, which uses art to explore the dynamic paths to enlightenment and what it means to wake up. Available wherever you listen to podcasts. And to learn more about the Rubin Museum's work around the world, visit rubinmuseum.org. Thank you for listening. Have a mindful day.